All right, y'all. We're here to talk about Bronny James. I'm trying out this new filter, give me kind of more of a ghost look. If you guys don't care about it, or if you think it's whack as hell, let me know. Roast me if you need to. I don't mind it. I could take a joke. But we're here to talk about whether or not, if the son of LeBron James, the oldest son, Bronny, if he's a good basketball player or not. Going into this is what I'm going to tell you. All right, at the end of the day, Bronny James is a point guard, okay? He's 6'1" with a 42-inch vertical, okay? You know someone else who had a 42-inch vertical? Allen Iverson. You may not have thought he had a 42-inch vertical, but if you look at Allen Iverson's early years, when he first came into the NBA, the man had bunnies. He even dunked on Marcus Camby, gave him a tomahawk yam one time, all right? So at the end of the day, what I want to really focus on is guys, we're not necessarily saying whether or not Bronny is supposed to be the next LeBron James. We don't know. The expectations for him isn't as high as his fathers were coming into the league. Although he is considered to be the sequel to LeBron James, guys, he's not 6'8". The expectations aren't as high, even though they would like to make them as such. Let's just get into it, all right? I mean, this is him at USC, and the athleticism is there. The speed is there. Now, a lot of people question, why would he leave college and not do an entire year, considering that USC didn't make him a starter. He wasn't the best player on the team at that particular moment. There's a lot of factors that tie in together when it comes to Bronny James's basketball career. A lot of people forget that he had some troubles with his heart itself, some internal issues that he had to recover from. So we don't even know if there were some sort of limitations as to how much minutes he could play. We don't know if USC wanted to even take that chance and be the college that had to have a Bronny James die on their floor, and not to mention, considering, him coming back from that injury, that would be entirely disrespectful if they already had a starting five that was, in particular, if they had another point guard that's putting up great numbers. And, unproven, even though Bronny was a high prospect for USC. Well, he wasn't that high of a prospect, but he was a definitely popular prospect with the year that he had graduated high school. Honestly, I wouldn't have picked USC, but I do know that USC isn't far from home with LeBron James. He could be fairly close. As much money as LeBron James has, he is pretty frugal with his money. And I don't think he pressured his son at all to leave or to do anything. Quite honestly, I think behind the scenes, there's some things that can't be spoken of or about Bronny James. And I think that he made a conscious decision that, you know what, I'm going to come out and enter the draft. But this is me getting into the politics of the situation. But as far as us in this discussion that we're having, let's talk basketball. Okay. Can Bronny play defense? Doesn't Bronny have a wide wingspan to be a defensive player in this NBA? How many point guards in this NBA are playing defense? I'm going to be honest with you. Even looking at the playoffs and moving forward, there's only a couple of teams in the NBA that provide perimeter defense. So that's something that can considerably have Bronny stand out amongst the rest of the prospects that are in the NBA. So, I understand you want to aim very high. There are other guard prospects out there, but let's just be honest. There's not much room on many of these rosters for another point guard to be on its team. Can you guys name an NBA team that needs a point guard? I can only name a couple. I'd honestly say that the Chicago Bulls could use a point guard because Lonzo Ball has been injured this entire time, along with Alex Caruso being the other point guard that the Chicago Bulls have, he's been suffering in and out of injuries himself. So that's a destination that he could possibly go to. Another NBA team that could use a point guard? The Los Angeles Lakers. D'Angelo Russell isn't trash, but he doesn't really play defense. And, who knows, going into this season, there could be a possibility that Bronny James could be his backup. But we'll see if they even throw him in the mix. In addition to that, you could possibly look at the Utah Jazz being a destination for Bronny James. I'm not exactly comfortable or familiar with that, but lay down. I'm not 100% confident of his destination, but every other team has a point guard. The Rockets have a point guard. Orlando has a point guard. The Pacers have a point guard. We might be able to look at the Brooklyn Nets needing a point guard, but, there could be room for another backup to be in the NBA for as far as a point guard prospect that could possibly happen. But in the short amount of playing time that Bronny has received, he has showed his ability to knock down shots. He does have the ability with the 42-inch vertical to block shots. So if he can shoot a wide open shot, if he can facilitate an offense, he's got the strength. He's already bigger than majority of the rest of these point guards that come in the NBA. He's got the bounce. I think what we're really looking at in the criticism towards Bronny James that we're concerned about is if he spent another year in college, he could possibly be put into the situation to where he could be drafted higher in the first round, draft positioning. So, to compensate for not being able to be a high draft prospect, if an NBA team can see the values in him and could consider giving him playing time as a player, if they're willing to be invested in Bronny James, then this could put them in an awesome situation. But I mean, it's a bit of a stretch for a team to want to make that sacrifice. But you know what? Some of the best diamonds in the rough organizations have found diamonds in the rough and has used them properly. I mean, the prime example of that is Nikola Jokic. He was not drafted very high. He turned into a huge focal point for that team pretty much in the exit of the Kenneth Faried, Ty Lawson era of the Denver Nuggets. Once they drafted Jokic, and really when they hired Mike Malone as their head coach, Mike Malone knew exactly what he was doing. He knew what talent he had. And to be honest with you, this was pretty much Mike Malone leaving the mindset after coaching DeMarcus Cousins, which the Sacramento Kings made a huge mistake by firing Mike Malone when he would have done wonders for DeMarcus Cousins when he was there. But moving forward, so, I think that when you go after Bronny, I know it's going to be a cash grab to bundle him with his father to be on their roster, but I don't think the NBA will sell their souls that much for a LeBron James ticket for an entire year. I think it's best to just allow the Los Angeles Lakers to draft Bronny James. And, if anybody disrespects, and if the Lakers disrespects and drops this man from their roster, I'm pretty sure someone else will be gladly to pick up Bronny James. I think the last thing that y'all want to see happen with Bronny James is if y'all Los Angeles Lakers play around and let him go. I know a organization that will know his talents and pick him up and market him very well, and that's that man Mark Cuban for the Dallas Mavericks. That's going to change things because we're looking at possibly the next 10 or 11 years to develop Bronny James into a prolific player, which wouldn't be that difficult to do because this guy has the engine and the genetics of LeBron James inside of him. That's really strong DNA. I honestly think that this is possibly fail-proof. I think it's being a point guard. Look, we've seen unathletic point guards in this NBA make it happen. Okay, I've seen Sean Livingston tear both of his ACLs and both kneecaps and come back into the NBA and be a formidable point guard. So I don't have much critique for a point guard in this day and age of the NBA. And to be honest with you, this NBA could use a pure point guard these days. So I don't. To answer my own question, I think Bronny James will be a formidable point guard in the NBA. Now, what will be amazing to me is if he becomes an all-star. That's what will be amazing. Let me know what you guys think. That's pretty much my take on young Bronny. Now I wouldn't want Bronny. You guys don't want. Bronny. Y'all don't want Bronny to be on the fast break. I'll tell you that he's going to be able to slam it. But I really want to see more passing and just to get a visual of his court awareness and pass accuracy going further into the NBA. And I will be keeping my eye on you, Bronny, during the summer league this year, especially to see what team drafts you. But good luck to you, Bronny, and all is well to you. And guys, let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe to the channel. This is Leno. Again, if you guys think this filter that I got on the old camera is retarded, let me know. I just want to kind of mess around with this new software that I'm using. But I'm out, E5.